Representative Smith, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. My first question to you, how can Florida students even have a fighting competitive chance for college admissions when their K-12 curriculum undermines them by teaching them an agenda versus academics?
Well, it's going to be really, really hard for Florida students to be able to compete in a world after they have been indoctrinated into ignorance by the DeSantis administration. That is exactly the consequence of the Republicans' censorship agenda here in the state of Florida. You just named a bunch of really absurd examples of how school districts, who are being put in an impossible position, by the way, are doing their best to try to implement some of these laws. They are pulling Shakespeare off the shelves because of the Don't Say LGBTQ law that imposes harsh penalties against districts and teachers who violate the law. They are indoctrinating students into ignorance by teaching them that there was some personal benefit to slavery, something that Ron DeSantis is now doubling and tripling down on in defense of across the country as his failing presidential campaign continues to collapse in full view. But the consequence here is on our children and on our kids. They expect a high quality public education in the state of Florida. That is their constitutional right. And what parents are seeing right now, Katie, as they're sending their kids back to school, is they're seeing that our public schools in Florida face one of the worst teacher shortage crises in the country. We are short 7,000 public school teachers. They are reading headlines about lost AP opportunities where they're going to lose out on college credit because of banned subjects and banned topics related to race and sexuality. And they're wondering, how is this helping my kids? How is this helping them get a better education? How is this making sure that we can save money to send them to college when their AP psychology classes, for example, are being canceled because of these vague and bigoted laws that have severe penalties attached to them for non-compliance for teachers and school districts.
And parents are seeking answers to their questions, but they're not getting them. For example, Thursday night, there was a town hall held in Miami Gardens. Hundreds of parents showing up to discuss the new standards for teaching Black history. Well, let's be clear, though, right? Everyone showed up, but Florida Education Commissioner Manny Diaz, you know, the guy responsible for overseeing these new standards. He first agreed to attend and then ghosted the parents and school administrators. So where can accountability be found here?
Well, accountability is going to be found certainly by folks continuing to show up and continuing to raise their voices. We know that the loudest voices that have been present at school board meetings across the state, namely Moms for Liberty, they don't represent a majority of parents. I do want to point out that DeSantis's education commissioner, Manny Diaz, agreed to face parents in Miami Gardens, which is the largest Black majority city in the state of Florida, to answer their tough and reasonable questions about why we are going to be teaching our kids suddenly that there was some personal benefit to slavery. And he backed out like a coward because Republicans are enacting what they call bold policies, but they don't even have the courage to face their constituents and answer their questions. So we're calling on parents to speak out at their local school board meetings to make sure that school districts, by the way, who again are being put in a terrible position trying to implement these vague and bigoted laws, aren't going beyond what the law requires them to do. For example, we're seeing that many school districts are erroneously instructing teachers that they cannot respect a student's pronouns. That's not true. Unfortunately, as bigoted as the Don't Say LGBTQ law is. And one of the provisions, unfortunately, does enact restrictions on respecting a student's preferred pronouns, particularly for trans students. What the law does not require is it does not require for school districts to disrespect the rights of a parent. If Republicans are going to continue to fight on the issue of parental rights, we need to be talking about the rights of all parents. That includes the rights of LGBTQ parents to make sure that their kids go to school and that they can see books that have families that look like theirs that aren't banned. The rights of parents of LGBTQ children who affirm them and support them and want their pronouns respected, and they want their kids to go to a safe educational environment. That's what we're advocating for. We're advocating for folks to show up to their school board meetings, to raise their voice, because they represent the majority of rational parents in the state of Florida.
I got to tell you, as a resident of Florida, the mom of a public school rising third grader, another ridiculous example, Representative, is that my daughter, whose name is Charlotte, if we want to call her Charlie in school, I'm going to have to sign a permission slip. That's how absurd we've gotten to. Former Florida State Representative Carlos Guillermo-Smith.
It is absurd. Thank you, Katie.
But only if it meets their agenda and only if it meets their narrative. But thank you, former Representative. I appreciate having you here. Thank you.